Usi.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, Dr. Krapf came to Kenya, that is in 1844, and he landed in Mombasa. Mombasa, he met a man who was called Ali bin Nasir. Ali bin Nasir was a governor in Mombasa Island, and he was under Sultan Said of the Oman Arabs. So Dr. Krapf, after sharing his mission to Ali bin Nasir, was directed to meet Sultan Said who was in Zanzibar. So he traveled to Zanzibar and met Sultan Said in Zanzibar. After sharing his mission with him, so the Sultan did not allow him to start anything of Christianity in the islands, that is Mombasa, Lamu, and Zanzibar, because they were settlements for the Muslim people. Then he was asked to, he was given the permission to start his mission outside the islands. That's when he came back to Mombasa, and while he was in Mombasa, also he lost his wife, that is Rosine. And Rosine had given birth to a premature baby, a baby girl, also died of malaria, and he was not allowed even to bury the wife and the daughter in the island. So he was forced to cross to the other side of the land, that is in Nyali, to look for a place to bury his wife and his daughter. That's why his wife and daughter was buried in Komani. After the burial of the wife and the daughter, he decided to proceed in his mission, and he passed through Chuda Creek, that was landing to a thick forest, and it was a mountain. On top of it, there was a village called Kaya Muzmuvia. Kaya Muzmuvia was a homestead for the Rabai people, and that is the first village that he landed. So in the village, it was led by Jindwa Mawesa and the other 12 wise men of the Kaya. These were Kaya elders. These Kaya elders welcomed him to the village, but there was a lot of challenge because most of the Kaya elders were resisting to his arrival to the Kaya. But Jindwa had received a prophecy that there's a white man coming, and also a long snake, whereby they were referring to the railway line. So Jindwa Mawesa understood what was happening, and he persuaded the others that it is divine that the white man is in the Kaya. So being in the Kaya, they could not also allow him to build anything of Christianity in the Kaya due to their tradition and the culture of the Mijikenda. So they were forced to take him outside of the Kaya and brought him here. Here they gave him 92 hectares of land to start his mission. In 1848, Dr. Krapf was joined by Dr. Rebman, and together they built the first church, the first permanent church in East Africa. This is the church.
October 1st, the second day of our second leg of our exploration, and I'm ascending the stairs here of what it would be Dr. Krapf's home in Rabai. And as you can see, the second floor has collapsed because of weather. But this is where Dr. Krapf would have stood and preached to the people here in Rabai. One of the things that I learned of the challenges that faced him included that the people here believed in God, a creator, but their medium, their way of connecting with that God was through their ancestors. He brought the message that we connect with God through Jesus Christ. And part of the challenge was to get people to understand that Jesus was not a descendant just of the white people, but Jesus was the Son of God. And because of that, God had revealed himself most fully through Jesus. He communicated that message, did not have many converts, but he continued to persist, and that's another significant part of the story as well. Today, we began our journey in Voi, which is further towards Nairobi. It was a trading center, and it gets its name Voi from Chief Kavoy. And there, Dr. Krapf would have perhaps met the chief who would have the information and the abilities and the resources to enable him to go further into the interior of Africa. And that happened with the chief's assistance. And we've said something about that when we reported on our visit in Kitui. But this was part of that whole journey. Oh, that's... Yeah, tell us about your ancestor and what he did.
My grandfather
Gave
welcomed Mr. Krapf, but some of the local who are living inside the forest refused. They said no, Krapf is not a person, he's a devil. But my grandfather said no, he's a real person. So they wanted to kill him, but my grandfather said no. Let me go and talk with Mr. Krapf. He went back to Mr. Krapf. He took Mr. Krapf. He hid him in the gallery where he used to put maize. Then he went back to the locals. He told them, Mr. Krapf has disappeared. He's a real devil, which he was teaching them. He was cheating them. But last, Krapf talked with my grandfather, why are you living inside the forest? He told him, because there are some people who are coming and fight with us. After all, they take our young ladies and young men, they go with them.
Okay.
As slaves.
My name is George Mrenje from Rabai, a grandchild of Jindwa Mwambawa who lived with Dr. Ludwig Krapf from Germany.
This is October 2nd, the third day of our second leg of this journey. We are approaching the memorial for Dr. Krapf here in Mombasa. And we'll show you the monument here, and I'll tell you more of the story. Last night, we stayed in the home of Agnes. She is a former slave who was set free out of the influence of Dr. Krapf. And so we were welcomed, given great hospitality, and it was a terrific experience to be in that home and see the Christian love and care that this woman is giving to her family, to adopted children, to neighborhood children, sharing the love of Christ with them. So we'll proceed now on up to the monument. We have just come from a worship service at Freetown Anglican Church, which was a church that was founded in Dr. Krapf's work here. The significance of that is tied to our host from last night. At that church there is a bell, and that bell was rung to call people to worship. It was also rung so that people here could come to the church and have a safe haven when the Arab slave traders came into port looking for more people to steal, to take away, and put into slave trade. So a very significant place for us to worship that carries on the legacy of Dr. Krapf. This was World Communion Sunday, a great joy for me to share in a worship service with other brothers and sisters in Christ from around the world and making that connection with my ancestor there. So it was a very joyful time, terrific, convincing, joyful worship with much choirs of different styles of music, different ages. It was a fantastic experience to be a part of. a few more parts of the story that I'd like to share as well. When we were at Rabai yesterday, we learned that Dr. Krapf only had just a few converts. Part of that is the whole Muslim influence. But yesterday afternoon, we met a courageous man named Bernard, who grew up Christian, but then went and lived with Muslims in his early teen years, so he learned much about Islam. But he saw the disappointments of people within that. And so now he very courageously extends his Christian witness amongst the Muslim community along the border with Somalia. That to me is one of the most hopeful things that we see in these tensions between Christians and Muslims. Now, here is another view of the memorial to Dr. Krapf. And the story is told in various languages. Here we have Swahili, this is German, and then there's English that you've already seen. It's a beautiful little park, well maintained. We are grateful that there are people who do this and provide that care to hold on to this memory and let it be an inspiration to Christians here.
A resting place.
A place for people to come and rest and rejoice and be at peace.
What's your name?
My name is Erastus.
Erastus.
Erastus, hello.
Why do you find this place important to you to rest?
Actually, it is great. The security is good. No problem. You can rest when it is hot during daytime.
And how long have you known Dr. Krapf? Name?
Okay, actually, since I was young, since I was in school, I was studying Dr. Krapf. And when I came down to Mombasa from Nyanza, I came and found this momentum for him.
Nyanza is a far place.
Yeah,
Now, let me introduce myself to you.
yeah,
My name is Reverend Jim Krapf.
yeah.
This man was my great-great-grand uncle.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very good, eh?
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
see,
So
see.
good to meet you.
Ah, very nice, very nice. Yeah. So you are almost the family.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
it's very good.
Yes.
Even your face resembled Dr. Krapf when I used to see in the books.
Yeah. Really. yeah.
That's right.
Erastus, do you have a family in Mombasa?
In Mombasa, actually, I used to have a family, but nowadays they're working. My kids are working.
Yes.
Yeah.
What can you tell the descendant?
Yeah, descendant, actually, I'm very happy when I meet a family of Dr. Krapf. How lucky I am. Huh? Otherwise, I would have died before I met them.
Special.
I only read them.
Ah,
But
yeah.
these I've met one of their family, the great family.
I want you to have a wonderful day and
Yeah.
continue to rest.
Yeah.
And my name is Dr. Solomon. I'm a Kenyan.
Okay.
We are privileged to bring
Thank you very
a
much.
legendary
Thank you very much.
Jim Krapf.
Okay, you Krapf. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Rastus?
Erastus Olo.
Rastus Olo.
Yeah.
Ah.
Thank you very much.
We're going to make one other stop here. Across the street from this memorial park are the actual graves. They include the wife of Dr. Krapf and their infant daughter. Malaria was such a curse on the Europeans who came here, and that was the cause of their death. So this man went through many sufferings and hardships, and yet he persevered. And he kept saying, God has opened a door for his gospel in Africa. You've just seen a sign posted by the Kenyan Museum, and here are the grave sites across the street. The tomb, or this marker here with the tombstone is for Mrs. Krapf, Rosalina, and then over here would be the infant daughter. And these other two, I'm not sure, but I've been told that they may be people who served in their household, servants, people that assisted them, that were cherished and given a special place of rest as well. In this place, it's a sacred place. It reminds us of the heritage that we have been given by Dr. Krapf. All the people that I have met have been such a great crowd of witnesses who've been influenced by Dr. Krapf. And with that, we also need to leave our legacy, to move ahead and run with determination the race before us, keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus from beginning to end.